Welcome back from that short break, good people of a great nation. Something is about to happen. My second guest is here, fully seated. He's a former commissioner in Adamawa State, former commissioner for information and strategy. And he wears several caps. He's held several positions in and out of government. He's a DG of a political movement. He's CEO and executive director of Future Now, which is an NGO based in Abuja. But he's also a journalist like Ikaro Ata. So it's a pleasure to welcome Honorable Ahmad Sajo to the show. Ahmad Sajo will be talking to us on how we can overcome the challenge of insecurity. But Ikaro is still here. We detained him briefly because he needs to perform an assignment on air, courtesy of ITV. So they have engaged him as a consultant. He used to be a staff, now he's a consultant to ITV to perform this this time. So you can go ahead.
Thank you very much. When you have your own very big, you know, sometimes in the media you have people who ought to be veteran generals in the army. Exactly. If it is in the army, I wouldn't be privileged to sit down with Honorable Sajo of this thing. I'm serious because I'm a lot younger person. They have seen it all. They saw it all. But in the media, you are privileged to see it and talk freely. But if it's in the military, this would have been the real veteran generals. But in the when we sit, so we sit carefully and choose our word. Okay, I've been, as a guest on the program, I've been asked to present this award to you, Mr. Jide Ojo, for your dedication and commitment to public enlightenment. You have been a regular guest and anchor on ITV. Now you are an anchor. You are formerly a very regular guest, and you've presented your program very much with so much passion. So with the kind permission of the ITV management assigning me to do this, I present to you this noble award for your outstanding dedication and commitment to public enlightenment across both ITV, sister stations, and several other print media houses. You've been very wonderful and very exceptional. We pray that God will give you strength to do more for God and for country in the coming years. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much. My gratitude to the management and staff of Independent Television, starting from the founder, Sir Gabriel Osawaru Binedon, down to the general manager here in Abuja, Mrs. Samba Olagwe, and all the staff, the support staff of Development Focus with Jide Ojo on ITV. I can't do this by myself. It's by the grace of God, and I'm very, very appreciative of this award. This is the second award I'm getting in 2 weeks, and this is awesome. It's a beautiful Christmas gift I'm getting, and I pray that God in his infinite wisdom will continue to guide the management and staff of ITV to greater heights, so that we can always, all of us can grow and achieve our destinies together in this noble profession. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate this. This is awesome. Very, very awesome. So we will have to excuse Ikaro now. He has his enforcement to do in town. We don't know where he's going today. But wherever he goes, may the mercy of God go with him and keep him safe. So he will leave me with Honorable Ahmad Sajo, a veteran journalist, former commissioner for information and strategy in Adamawa State, and a director general of a political movement, as well as an NGO manager. It's a pleasure. Thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and compliments of the Yuletide. Enjoy your Christmas. If you do have a break during the Christmas, do enjoy your Christmas. Honorable Ahmad Sajo, you have been in the practice of journalism for decades. Then you found yourself in government. Now while in government, you manage the IDP in Adamawa. I didn't bring you here to talk journalism. As somebody from one of the Bay states, You know, when we say Bay, we call it Bay because it's Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe. What are the root causes of this insecurity and insurgency?
Well, thank you very much. I think I am discussing a topic that I'm much more passionate about, the insecurity, because I've been involved directly as a member of the State Security Council, and I've been involved as a partner with security agencies. So, and I have done quite a number of research on this insecurity, especially in my home state and in the Northeast, and I've attended quite a number of trainings on peace building and trying to understand the security challenges we face in this country. I must tell you that there are 4 strands to this insecurity which we must address if we really want to solve the problem. The first strand, and unfortunately, is, you know, it's something we're trying to ignore or refuse to accept that does exist, and that is systemic. You know, we are increasingly, you know, creating wider social gap.
Social disparity, social dislocation.
Dislocation so wide that, you know, those of us that feel we are comfortable are beginning to be insensitive to the plight of the people that are not doing very well in society. So the gap is widening, and we're building very high walls and erecting barbed wires and thinking that that will secure us, you know, from you know, the vagaries of society. But for as long as we don't bridge this gap, for as long as we don't build a prosperous society, I tell you, we will continue to be insecure. Because your security depends to a large extent on the security of society where you live.
The ecosystem
where you live. That's the first strand. The second strand is the international dimension. You know, the international terror network is so organized. You know, the ICs and co, the movement of funds, the movement of arms, the troubles across regions. You know, it's a serious problem we have, you know, in this part of the world, and until we also find a way to address it. That includes, of course, the dislocation of society created by climate change, for example, where the Lake Chad has receded. Over 30 million people have become vulnerable as a result, and so some of them are losing hope in humanity, and so are taking up. Then the third one is government, and government over the years, you know, we've ignored certain elements that we should address very critically. Take, for example, you know, we have conflict entrepreneurs in our system.
Conflict entrepreneurs, people who are merchants of violence.
Merchants of violence.
They profit from violence.
Profit from violence. We have corrupt individuals within the system itself that, for example, go and buy arms. They refuse to buy arms and they must misappropriate the money. We have rogue elements within our security agencies. We should not pretend about these things.
The fifth columnist.
Exactly. So this is another strand of it. And then the last strand, which is our own society itself that has been dislocated. We no longer see each other as part of a human family. You think that if it does not happen to you, it doesn't matter if it happens to another person.
So there's no humanity in us again.
There is no humanity in us, but in the process, you know, the thing is decapitating us one after the other, and we're still thinking that if it doesn't happen to me, it doesn't matter. So we have these 4 strands. Unless we address them one after the other, and I can tell you, it's very simple, it's very easy. First and foremost, those in power and those with property must begin to have greater concern for the plight of those that don't have. Because until those that don't have are comfortable, we will not be comfortable. Until they are secure, we will not be secure, no matter how we try to.
So you are painting, Honorable, you are painting a scenario that the poor cannot sleep, because they are hungry. And the rich cannot sleep because the poor
cannot sleep.
They are awake.
They are awake. So this is our situation in this country. We must address that. Secondly, it's not enough to begin to talk about, the international conspiracy in fueling insecurity. We must find a solution. For example, those that fund insecurity through whatever means, that we always say we will name them, we will shame them, we will expose them, we will try them. It's enough of the rhetoric. We must address this issue.
There you're talking of illicit financial flows.
Illicit financial flows.
Early this year, they said they've arrested some 26 or 24 bureau de change operators who are helping with moving.
The process must be so transparent that any other person who is thinking of joining the league will know that there is no hiding place for me. The corrupt individuals within the service, within the system, must be identified, exposed, and punished. The rogue elements within our security agencies that every day you hear about, that some of them have become informants to our enemies,
to abductors and insurgents.
They must be exposed. That's okay. But the last one is that we must have a robust system within the government cycles to mobilize society, to begin to have empathy towards each other, to begin to understand that we have a common destiny. We must journey on that road together to secure ourselves. Okay.
Issue around our porous border, how does that contribute to insecurity? Some time ago, former Controller General of Nigeria Immigration Service, Paradan, who is no longer there, said that the service, that's Nigeria Immigration Service, was able to detect 1,400 illegal entry routes into Nigeria. I know you are from Adamawa, and from Adamawa you can walk over to Cameroon, and possibly to Niger or to Chad. How does this porous border, how does it contribute to the rising insecurity in Nigeria?
I think some of us, when you talk about border, we laugh. I was local government secretary in 1993, and
1993. You were secretary to a local government.
Yes.
Which local government is that?
Mubi then.
Mubi North or South?
No, before it became Mubi North or South.
Okay.
Mubi. All of it, including Maiha, local government. It's now 3 local government. It used to be 1. I was secretary, and a team came from the headquarters then, and they wanted to see the situation with the border, and I took them to Koja. And while we were discussing somewhere, one of them felt he wanted to ease himself, and he crossed over and was urinating. I said, "My friend, you are urinating in Cameroon."
What?
I'm telling you, so
that he has crossed over by leg.
No, we were standing somewhere, and he just wanted some distance from us so as to urinate. And as he crossed to that location, I said, "My friend, you are urinating in Cameroon."
Not in Nigeria.
Yeah, definitely.
International difficulty.
So what I'm trying to say is that in some of our places, honestly, there is no border. Yeah, and a lot of,
it's just an open level.
If you go to Koja, there are many people whose houses are in Nigeria and their farms are in Cameroon. There are many people whose houses are in Cameroon and their farms are in Nigeria. We're one family. We don't even know what's the difference. If you go to Bukula, you go to Dumo, you go to all these places, Naira is legal tender, Sefa is legal tender. You don't even know whether you have crossed any border, to be
so this border is artificial in the true sense of it.
Absolutely. In fact, for us, sometimes it doesn't even exist. You just need 1 or 2 places where you find immigration officials from the Nigerian side. You'll gist with them, they will salute you, you pass, you go there, and then you see the immigration officers from the Cameroonian side. Mostly you don't even, sometimes you don't even see gendarmes, you just see police commissaire, and then We just talk
So,
to them.
so now let's talk about the angle from which I mentioned this is the angle of contribution to insecurity.
Yeah.
People said when you have an open border, it's easy to smuggle in small arms and light weapons, to do human trafficking, to smuggle drugs, to smuggle currency, and all the other bad things.
Absolutely.
So that in itself has been a push factor in creating security challenge for Nigeria.
It is a huge push factor, but again, like I told you at the beginning, if we had configured our societies into agents of securing our country, they know the movement, they see the movement. These people are not spirits. They're not invisible. They are known. They're known. They move, so we could report such matters. But there are times when our people tell us, I mean, we've been in leadership for quite some time now, we understand. Our people tell us that when we see a suspicious movement, and we report to security agencies, sometimes we become victims. Because these people who move illegally with arms, with drugs, with the currencies and things like that, they also have the huge capacity to bribe the system.
And get scot-free.
And go scot-free. And you that reported, you will end up being the victim.
So there is no whistleblower protection law.
There is no whistleblower protection law. And the worst is that, like I said, the guy becomes the victim of the social miscreant.
So there is a recent phenomenon which has been troubling me.
Yes.
The recent spate of jailbreaks.
Yeah.
The police, the DSS, the army, they arrest people, and then they profile them, and then they put them in jail, waiting trial, or going through trial, or already condemned criminals. And then one night you hear that some gang has come, invaded the correctional center, and set loose. It happened in Owerri. Over 3,000, awaiting trial and condemned criminals were set loose. I'm not sure they were able to recapture up to 500 out of 3,000 plus. And similar thing happened in Kaba, in Oyo Town, and recently in Jos. In 1 year, 12 calendar months, we have had 4 successful jailbreaks where ardent criminals have been set loose. How come? What impact has this have on the spike in criminality in Nigeria?
First and foremost, let me tell you that there is, on our part, what I can call either legal or judicial criminality. In all the correctional centers when you go, they are over 300%. They've exceeded their capacity by over 300%. And nearly 80% of those are awaiting trial.
Yeah.
And some of them stay there awaiting trial for periods far longer than what their sentences would have attracted if they had received fair trials. That's one. Two, in a situation where there is congestion, there are competition for space, there are competition for favors. So amongst them, those who could raise some little money, either from the inside or from the outside, buy favor from the managers of the correctional centers. And in the process of buying this favor, they sometimes get far beyond the favors that they bought. And so information leaks out through these favor systems. Information leaks out. What happens is that a lot of information about what goes on inside goes outside. Nobody attacks a correctional center without an inside knowledge of what the place is like, what the operational mode should be like, what strategic plans to put in place, what tactical plans to put in place. All this information gets out because the place is congested. The managers sometimes are overwhelmed, and there are requests for favors, and some of these favors are actually unfavorable to the system.
So how much in solving our security challenge, what level of infusion of technology should we be looking at? How can technology help us? People say we don't have enough manpower, no enough personnel, whether you talk of police or the military, and that we need to deploy the use of technology. How can technology help in the fight against insecurity?
I find it very funny, you know, when we talk about deployment of tech. There are different types of technologies that we could deploy. You know, remember, technology has been so simplified because of the internet, to the extent that on your phone here now, you could install a small gadget in your house, and you can monitor what is happening in your house from here, from this studio. Technology is so simplified. There are items you can put here within 6 kilometers radius. If somebody comes with an armed, or he comes with an explosive device, it will be detected. We have all these capacities, but I tell you, no matter what technology we have at our disposal, the greatest technology we need is honestly to infuse a lot of equity, fairness, and justice within our systems. We need to reconfigure our society. Without equity, fairness, and justice, I tell you, we will never be secure. You know, peace is not the absence of conflict. It's actually the presence of social justice. For as long as we don't have social justice, fix your technology. The person that is going to fix your technology is available. The criminal can buy him and reverse the technology to serve the criminal's purpose. You can fix whatever you want to do gadget here. It can be jammed. It can can be, you know, it can be infiltrated through.
They can even hack into it.
They can hack into it and infiltrate it and use it and reverse it.
So your final word on effective solution. What do we need to do at the level of government, at the level of family, at the level of community, at the level of individual to solving this challenge of insecurity?
Well, number one, at the level of government, that's where the greatest responsibility lies. Government needs to work towards a saner society for us in Nigeria, and more equitable, more fairer, and where justice must prevail. You know, we have to be fair to each other. You know, we have to return our humanity to ourselves. We have to become more empathetic. We have to become more sympathetic to each other. You know, and government can drive this process. That's one. Two, at the level of community, we must begin to see the security of the next person as my own security, not just my security. We should pull down our high walls and barbed wire fences and begin to look at society itself as a unit of protection rather than individual units of protection, because we have realized that individually we can't protect ourselves. And then at the level of family, we must restore family values. But unfortunately, poverty cannot permit effective family value restoration. We have to address poverty. If we don't address poverty, a poor person does not even have control over his family.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ahmad Sajo. I know you still have a lot to say, but that will be the size of our package this morning. I want to thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on how we can overcome the challenge of insecurity. You have said we need to restore family values. We need to fix poverty, unemployment, shared humanity. Government needs to deploy more pro-poor solutions so that we can have equity, justice, and fair play, you have said. Thank you very much, Honorable. And if you have enjoyed this show, please stay tuned for a fresh edition after Christmas. It will be the last episode for the year. And like I said, this show is open for sponsorship and advert placement. And see you around. Enjoy your Christmas and stay safe.